But I do have to say, to my colleague's point that was just made, that I am surprised to see the focus, given that the President of the United States and the administration are engaged in fraudulent behavior literally daily, including just a few days ago, invading a foreign country, using the United States military to take their oil, and notifying oil and gas companies before the United States Congress, and the President claiming last night that he is personally going to control the oil and give government kickbacks to oil and gas companies. So why are we not investigating that? It definitely gives you the impression that there's a double standard in this country. I also want to say that I'm troubled to see that this hearing is being held in conjunction with an announcement that the administration made just yesterday that they were going to freeze $10 billion in federal funding for childcare and family assistance to 5 states across the country. And if you watched the president's crazy address yesterday, you heard him say it himself. But I want to say one thing, because my colleagues have pointed out all about weaponizing the government for political purposes. Well, these 5 states happen to have one thing in common. They all have Democratic governors and gubernatorial elections this year. Is this a coincidence? I don't think so, my friends. And this, of course, comes after weeks of viral videos from a young man YouTuber who was literally creeping around daycares by himself, making claims about fraud that were not there. And then the vice president and the FBI director were retweeting these videos without even verifying if they were true, unleashing a furor of anti-immigrant and anti-Somali hate across the country, wherein thousands of Somali people got targeted and harassed, including by the President of the United States, who literally used his platform as the President of the United States to call an entire community garbage. He literally said that. So we're not accusing people of being xenophobic and racist. They are being xenophobic and racist, including the President of the United States. And I want to say, for one, that I stand with the Somali and the immigrant community standing here today. But there's a bigger policy point here, which is that this is being used as a politically expedient moment to take away the immigration status of Somalis in the United States as part of the mass deportation plan of this administration. And it is also being used by the 2025ers in this administration to freeze critical programs that we know low-income families depend on, and which they call part of the woke agenda. This is part of a larger effort to defund these programs, as we are seeing across these 5 states. So I think it's important to pull back the curtain a little bit about what is actually going on in this hearing and its coordination with the administration, that this is about, 1, demonizing political opponents in Democratic states during a major election cycle. 2, it's about demonizing the immigrant community to support cruel and illegal mass deportation policies. And 3, it's about demonizing poor people and struggling families to justify taking away the basic programs that are helping them survive in this country. So I want to just close out by saying that I grew up in a low-income family. Many of you have heard my story before. But as I woke up to the news that the president was freezing child care funding to these 5 states, I had to think about the millions of families that would be impacted by it. I think about my own mom, a single mom, just barely struggling to get by, working multiple jobs. These programs are a lifeline. They make it possible for people like me to ultimately have a pathway to success. And you all are sitting here running legislation on shower heads while millions of Americans' health insurance is expiring, while millions of Americans can't even put food on the table right now. And you're over here parading around state officials, demonizing immigrants, talking about cutting basic programs, and you're passing legislation to redefine shower heads in Congress while the President of the United States is illegally invading foreign countries.
Order. Gentlelady's time's expired.
I find it appalling.
Order.
Disgusting.
Gentlelady's time's expired. Chair recognizes Dr. Fox from North Carolina. Oh,
Have you used your
before
question?
Chair recognizes Mr. Biggs from Arizona.